Hey guys, welcome back. So continuing with more coverage on Black Panther. I had a request in the comments on the last video to do a spill on Black Panther using the Infinity Gauntlet. So at first I was kind of like, we're supposed to do that later on with James Hudson, son of Wolverine, because his events lead into Cataclysm, which go on to the Final Incursion, which immediately roll into Secret Wars and Doom, creating Battle World and all that. So instead of making you guys wait for all those spills to drop first, we're just going to jump ahead to where Black Panther has the Infinity Gauntlet. So let's do it. Alright, so before I jump straight to it, I kind of want to catch you up to where this is taking place first, and then we're going to get to what happened. So if you've been following my channel, you've probably noticed that I've done a lot of coverage in the Ultimates universe. Well, that universe is the 1610 universe, which is one of infinite number of universes. And then you also got your Marvel 616 universe, which is your main continuity, has all your main characters, your main X-Men, Avengers. It's really the home of your original roster of heroes and villains. So at the event of Final Incursion, your 616 and your 1610 universes both collided, destroying both and killing a whole lot of people. But this is just something that writers do when you have series that continue over decades and decades of continuities and new characters come out. They destroy everything, wipe it clean, and start over. But not too long before this incursion happened, Doctor Doom, Doctor Strange, and Molecule Man all paid a visit to the Beyonders. And this was the last attempt at trying to save the multiverse. And also an opportunity for Doctor Doom to steal the powers of the Beyonders, making himself God of the Marvel Universe, which was an insanely ambitious thing to do, but he pulled it off. And when he became God of the Marvel Universe, things got real weird. He was using every thought that you can imagine to police this battle world that he had stitched together from pieces from different universes. And this is real important too, because certain relics like your Infinity Gauntlet that can build or destroy a universe are only good in that universe. And we'll talk about the importance of that in a little bit. And so after the Final Incursion, Doom, Molecule Man, and Doctor Strange weren't the only ones to survive. Reed Richards made it through with some people on his ship. Thanos made it through with the Cabal. And it trips me out too, because this is one part where the Thanos and the Cabal, they're just chilling by the campfire, you know what I'm saying, minding their business, and the Thors all roll up like the police, whoop, 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 whoop. Hey, buddy, what you doing? We got a large purple male out here. It fits the description. Bringing them in. And that's just to give you an example of how strict of a hand that Doom has with the Thor Corps just patrolling everywhere. But when it came down to the first encounter between Doom and these remnant survivors of the previous universes, Cyclops was killed. Even with his Phoenix Force, he couldn't defeat Doom. So Doctor Strange intervened and just scattered everybody around the map just to get them away from Doom. And he saved their lives doing this because he knew none of these guys were going to bow to Doom. And at the first sign of disobedience, that he was just going to slaughter all of them. And Doom made him a martyr for that. And I'll probably go into more depth about the whole Secret Wars event later on, but if you haven't checked this out, you have got to read this series, because Doom could do anything that he wants, but to see the decisions that he makes in this series, man, it really shows you where his heart's at. And so we skip over to Black Panther and Namor, and they, well, really more so Black Panther, are looking for the Sanctum Sanctorum. And Namor's physically with him, but to me it's he's just there because what else is he gonna do? And he's also being real pessimistic as well, because for example, when they get to the door, Namor's oh well, it's locked, oh well. But T'Challa's yeah, but still, Stephen left us a key. And once they get inside, Doctor Strange has this message that he leaves for anybody who's come in, and it's more like a security measure. So not only can you only enter if you have the Eye of Agamotto, but when he made this recording, he knew that the only time that it was going to play is at the time of his passing. So on top of having the Eye of Agamotto, you also had to know the password, which was Illuminati. And Strange went on to tell them that he left 2 relics, or there's really 2 things that he owned in his possession. So Namor runs to the first one and he opens it up, and it's a teleporter that'll take you anywhere on Battle World that you need to go. But in box number 2, boy, I got that, ooh woo! And T'Challa reaches inside, and it's the Infinity Gauntlet. And Namor's looking over from the side it's a good thing you got it, because I can't be trusted out here, you know what I'm saying? But regardless, they're going to have to work together with both of these items, because the Gauntlet, being that it's from the 616 universe, it can only be used on 616 territory. And so not too long after that, T'Challa gets back on the comms with Reed Richards. He's yeah, man, I'm sitting here chilling on the hill rocking his new gauntlet. What you on? But he tells Reed his whole plan from top to bottom. And Reed's kind of flipping out. And for good reason. They've been through a lot up to this point. But it's moments like this where you really see what type of king, what type of leader that T'Challa is. Because when Reed's speaking and he starts to doubt the situation and doubt himself even, T'Challa cuts him off and ends on a positive note and just hangs up. And so at this point, T'Challa and Namor have used a teleporter to get over to a piece of land where Black Panther is king of. And like I said, Namor's just tagging along, making one pessimistic comment after the other. And right here, Black Panther really shows Namor that he has the balls to get it done. So he takes the balls and he throws them at the wall. Because that's what these balls do. They bring walls down. And so Namor sitting there behind him, sees him blow a hole in this wall, and it's okay, air quotes, king of the dead. What exactly is behind that wall? And Black Panther just looks over the shoulder the dead.
Do you have any special talents?
And this move is genius solely because he's the king of the dead, so he goes to where the zombies are and convinces them to follow him into battle. And like, they still have minds of their own, or at least what's left of them, but because he is king of the dead, they're strongly compelled to follow him. But he gives the glory speech anyway to kind of tip them in his favor. So switching over to the battlefield, Thanos jumps out in front of Doom and he's like, hey, that's enough. But Doom throws Thanos off because he offers him to be Baron over the waste. And Thanos is like, Baron over the mother, I'm Thanos. I've done the God thing before, ruled the galaxy. You ever heard of Infinity Wars? Yeah, that was me, I did that. I assembled the gauntlet, Baron over the waste. Man, I oughta. And Doom was like, okay. Do you have the gauntlet now? And then Thanos is like, well, no, but I'm still. And Doom's like, bump that. I'm gonna reach in your chest and pull out your spine with your skull and everything. Like, this dude literally ripped Thanos to pieces like he was made of Legos or something, man. It was terrible. But as Thanos' bones and armor and organs is all falling to the ground, like, Annihilus is right there next to Doom. And Annihilus is a badass too, more so in the negative zone, but he just turns into a yes man like right away. He's like, yeah, whatever you say, boss. Yes, sir. But yeah, okay, boss. But right after that, right in the middle of the battlegrounds, this bright light appears, and this is the teleportation door that Strange gave to Black Panther and Namor. And when it appears, like, this endless feed of zombies just starts coming through. And aside from just yelling brains, they're also repeating stuff from the speech that Black Panther said. Like, they're real amped up. And really, this is the first time since Doom has taken the power from the Beyonders and created Battle World that you've seen like the look of fear on his face. And right after that, you hear a voice yell from the door, Victor! And it's Black Panther. And Namor's right behind him looking like, hey man, I never doubted you. This is a great idea. Now I'm playing, he ain't say that, but T'Challa's like, Doom, it's over. It ends here. And Doom sees this army of zombies spreading as far as the eye can see. And he tells him like, this whole thing just reeks T'Challa. Like, this was your idea, wasn't it? And Namor's standing behind him like, he had help. But it's right here where Doom is confronted, where he offers Namor and T'Challa a position in his kingdom. Like, he tells Namor, man, I'll build a new Atlantis, and he tells T'Challa, I'll build a new Wakanda. And T'Challa tells him, what good would that be? Being a fake ruler over a fake world of a bunch of fake people? Doom, you have the power to do it, but raising up a new Wakanda requires a vision that you just don't possess. Pretty much calling him a simp. And that strikes a nerve with Doom, man, because he's like, oh, you think you can do this better than me? Because Doom really believes that he's unstoppable. But Black Panther lifts the gauntlet, solidifies him on like this, whether ice or makes a statue out of him. And Namor takes his trident and just chucks it at Doom, like as hard as he can, and it shatters Doom into pieces. And Doom just goes crumpling like all over the place, like crumbles and everything. And they look at him like, okay, there's no way it's gonna be that easy. And it's right then where Doom starts doing the Terminator 2 thing, and like all of his pieces start melting and they just gel back together. And as soon as Doom gets back in one piece, he just sends this God power blast at T'Challa and Namor. And T'Challa blocks it, but for whatever reason, Namor ain't getting no coverage, man. Probably because he was being an a-hole earlier, but hey, who knows? But Doom sees that T'Challa withstanded the blast. So he's kind of like, okay, respect. Now let's handle this like gods. And so while they're fighting, we begin to see that there's more to Black Panther's plan. Like, he never assumed that the Infinity Gauntlet will be able to take out Doom, because Doom has the power of the Beyonders, and the Infinity Gauntlet cannot take out the Beyonders. The Gauntlet is only all-powerful within its own universe. So Black Panther's actual plan was to distract Doom and actually go to the source, which is Molecule Man. And as soon as Doom figures this out, he dips out with the quickness, because Doom knows the same way he got this power is the same way he can lose it. And this is where Reed comes in, executing his instructions from T'Challa. And I think it's perfect that Reed was the one to do this too, because one of the first things that Doom changed when they made this new world was he replaced Reed Richards' life with his own. Like, he took his wife, he took his children, he wanted to be Reed Richards. So by sending Reed Richards to the prison that Molecule Man was in, it allowed Molecule Man to have some type of matter to manipulate to bring this all to a resolve. And that was the point of this prison that he was in, because there's nothing, like absolutely nothing there. He couldn't do anything with nothing. So initially what he did was even the playing ground power-wise between Reed Richards and Doom for them to go at it. But it came to the point where Doom even admitted that Reed Richards would have been better with that power than he would have. And it was right then that Molecule Man took the opportunity to take Doom's powers and give them all to Reed Richards. And Molecule Man was just there like, hey, since y'all both agree, it's done. And now, so doing this would destroy Battle World completely. But before it all goes up in flames, Black Panther is able to get out of there using one of the gems of the Infinity Stone. And he goes back in time moments before the incursion, because if everything in his plan works out right, he'll end up back in time in a different reality that Reed Richards has made. Or at least one that's been set back to normal without the event of the incursion. But I'm pretty sure that this is one that T'Challa had set up already. Because as he appears here, seeing his people carrying on their tradition and saving their memories with their blood, he presents them a new solar system with a new planet that they can explore and colonize. And from what it sounds like, it's not completely deserted. Like in the east, he says they're crawling when they could run, so more likely they'll help them out and colonize in the west that's uninhabited. But just imagine if they deliver Wakanda's agriculture to this new planet, like the potential of what that could possibly deliver in the future. Growing the heart-shaped herb out there, continuing to pass down their legacy through their blood into the soil. Like, it could essentially become Planet Wakanda. But we'll see what happens with the newer issues of Black Panther going on. And just to be clear, from like this point forward, after the Incursion event, this is now the all new, all different Marvel. But I'm in this one here, guys. Let me know your thoughts about Black Panther using the Infinity Gauntlet. And I'll leave links up whether you want to check out some more Black Panther or see some other videos too. Because real close to this timeline, Black Panther and Deadpool are also going to go at it too. And I have the link up here for you to click on and check that out. But like always, I appreciate you guys checking out this spill, and we'll do it again next time. All right, later.